It was one of those late-night shifts at Willow Creek Hospital that I'll never shake off, the kind where the fluorescent lights buzz like angry bees, and the rain's hammering the windows so hard you think the whole place might flood. I was just about to clock out, my scrubs all wrinkled and my coffee gone cold, when this guy burst through the ER doors, staggering like he'd been hit by a truck, blood soaking through his leather jacket, and that patch on his back, Thunder Riders, sending everyone into a freeze. Me? Dr. Emily Carter, the one who always sticks around too long, holding hands with scared patients or double-checking charts because, hell, in a small town like Willow Creek, if you don't, who will? I didn't hesitate, rushing over as he collapsed, his rough hand grabbing my arm, whispering through gritted teeth, "Doc, no cops. Just keep me breathing." His name was Jake, I found out later, this big, tattooed beast with scars that told stories I wasn't sure I wanted to hear, but right then, all I saw was a man bleeding out from a nasty gash across his ribs, pale as a ghost, his steel blue eyes flickering with something raw, like fear mixed with defiance. The nurses hovered, whispering about how these biker types only bring trouble, how the Thunder Riders had a rep for rumbling through town, shaking down folks over old grudges or turf wars that spilled from the highways into our quiet streets. And yeah, there was history there. Bad blood from a bar fight years back that left a local kid paralyzed. All tied to some land dispute where the Riders claimed rights to an old warehouse the town wanted for development. But me? I pushed that aside, barking orders for a gurney, ignoring the stares as we wheeled him into Trauma Bay 1, my hands steady on the gauze even as my heart pounded because damn it, a life's a life, no matter the patch. As I cut away his shirt, revealing more ink and old burns that screamed survival, he muttered, "Lucky shot. Should have seen the other guy," with this faint smirk that almost made me chuckle, but then his grip tightened on my wrist. "Don't let me go under. Document got people counting on me." And there it was, that crack in his armor, pulling at something deep in me, reminding me why I stuck with this underfunded hole-in-the-wall hospital instead of bolting to the city like my med school buddies. I'd grown up, overlooked myself, watching my dad get written off as just another mill worker after his accident, no one bothering to fight for him. So I stitched him up, layer by layer, the storm raging outside mirroring the one building in my chest, wondering if I was crossing some invisible line by not picking up the phone to call Sheriff Harlan, who everyone knew had a personal axe to grind with the Riders ever since they edged him out of a property deal his family had eyed for generations. Then came the rumble, not thunder this time, but engines, dozens of them, shaking the parking lot like an earthquake, headlights cutting through the rain as silhouettes in leather poured in, boots thudding on the tile, water dripping everywhere. The leader, this grizzled bear of a man named Rex, with a beard streaked gray and eyes like cold steel, stepped forward, his voice low and commanding. "Where's Jake? He's one of ours." The waiting room went dead silent, moms clutching kids, the receptionist fumbling her phone like she might dial 911 any second, and I could feel the tension coiling, thick as smoke, because these guys weren't just visitors. They were a force, bound by loyalty forged in blood and betrayal. Whispers around town saying Rex had lost a brother to a rival gang over that same warehouse turf, making him fiercely protective, almost paranoid. I stepped out, heart slamming, meeting his gaze head-on. He's stable, but barely. I'm his doctor, and right now he's my priority. Rex narrowed his eyes, sizing me up like a threat, then nodded once, slow. "You kept him kicking. That means something, but there was an edge there, a warning, like I'd just dipped my toe into their world, where favors weren't free and debts got collected." The hours dragged on, me bouncing between Jake's monitors and the lobby where the Riders paced like caged wolves, their worry hanging heavy, not menace, but real fear, the kind that humanizes even the toughest bastards. Back in the room, Jake stirred, his voice raspy. "Why are you bothering with me?" Most folks see the patch and run. I paused, adjusting his feeling that pull again, because you're not just a patch. You're someone bleeding, and I've seen too many get left behind. He let out a weak laugh, wincing. "You've got guts, Doc. More than half these Riders out there." And just like that, the walls cracked a bit more, him sharing fragments. How he'd been a welder once, steady job, until his wife passed from illness, the grief swallowing him whole, pushing him to the roads where the Riders became his anchor, but not without cost. tangled in feuds over land that the town's HOA bigwigs manipulated to squeeze them out, turning neighbors against them with rumors of drugs and violence that weren't always true. But trouble brewed outside. Sheriff Harlan rolled up, lights flashing, striding in with his hand on his holster, face twisted in that smug authority he'd wielded since taking over, his family's old grudge fueling every move. "Where's the thug? I know he's here." This ties back to that warehouse mess, doesn't it? He snarled at Rex, who stiffened, his men closing ranks. "You ain't touching him, lawman. Not while he's down." The air crackled, fists clenching, me jumping between them like a fool. "He's my patient, Sheriff. Back off, or you're the one causing trouble." Harlan's eyes blazed, leaning in close with that mousy sneer. "Emily, you think you're some hero? These animals manipulated that land deal to hoard it for their chop shop. My uncle lost everything because of them." But Rex shot back, voice like gravel. "Your uncle tried to steal it first, with his HOA cronies pulling strings. We earned our piece fair and square." I held my ground, pulse racing, knowing one wrong word could ignite it all, and in that standoff, I felt the weight of it, the misunderstandings piled high from years of small-town politics, where power plays over dirt turned brothers into enemies. Then the real fight hit. Jake's fever spiked that night, infection raging like wildfire, his body shaking, mutters turning to please Sarah. "Tell her I'm sorry," and in rushed his sister, mid-40s, eyes wild with panic, gripping his hand. "You idiot. You promised you'd stick around for the kids." She turned to me, tears streaming. "He shows up at midnight to fix my fence or drop off cash. He's all they've got left." Watching that, my resolve hardened. This wasn't just a biker, he was a lifeline, flawed but fierce, his choices rooted in loss that echoed my own buried pains. I battled through the dark hours, swapping bandages, pushing meds, whispering, "Hang on, Jake. You've got more road ahead." While outside, the riders revved engines like a prayer, Rex slipping in once, fists balled. "Don't let him slip. Document he's family." The fever broke at dawn, relief crashing over us like waves. Jake's eyes opening, croaking, "You didn't quit on me." "What?" I smiled faintly, because quitting's not my style. "And neither is yours." By morning, the town's whispers turned to stares, folks clustering outside, debating if I was brave or stupid for shielding those outlaws. Sheriff Harlan lurking, muttering threats, but backing down when Rex quipped, "Touch her, and you'll see what real trouble looks like." Jake recovered slow, sharing more over weak coffee that slash, from defending our spot against some developer goons Harlan's tied to. "It's all about control, Doc. Who owns what in this godforsaken town?" And as he walked out days later, steps steady, the riders flanking him like guardians, he turned back. "You saw past the leather." "Not many do." Rex clasped my shoulder. "You're one of us now, in a way." "Debt's paid." Engines roared off, leaving dust and questions. The town forever shifted, prejudices cracked, but not shattered. But here's the thing that still nags at me: was I right to dive in, blurring lines between healer and ally? Or did I just stir up more division in a place already fractured by greed and grudges? What do you think? Is loyalty like the riders a strength or a curse? And where's the line when community fears clash with saving a life? Drop a comment below, share your take on justice in small towns, or if you've faced something similar. Hit that like button if this hit home, subscribe for more real talk stories, and let's keep the conversation going. Your thoughts might just change mine.